On this edition of Newsmakers, a new exhibit opens at the Ellipse Arts Center in Ballston, showing perspectives of both Arlington and our sister city, Reims, France, from the perspective of two very different photographers. Then, a memorial service was held for former Arlington County Chair Ellen Bosman, who passed away recently. We'll hear inspiring words from family and close friends, including current County Board Chair Barbara Favola. And finally, do you know what MAP is? Stay tuned to find out how it's important in improving community health in Arlington. It all starts now on Newsmakers. Ever been curious about what our sister city Reims, France looks like? Thanks to the Ellipse Arts Center and their new exhibit Crossing Glances, you can. Local photographer John Babineau was commissioned to make a trip to Reims and take a series of photos of the life there. Likewise, Reims sent one of their own local photographers, Cécile Bethléem, to grab some interesting perspectives of Arlington. The exhibit looks at both photographers' work, and at the kickoff event, many were excited about what they saw.
The exhibit is fascinating. It really captures, I think, the spirit and character of the two cities. It's so interesting how you look at how people live, you look at the parks or the open space that they think might be important, you look at the public art in the two communities, and you really get a flavor. You really get some insight into the cultures, and I think it's a wonderful exhibit. Certainly worth visiting. Absolutely.
I just decided when I went over there to work the way I usually work. I consider myself a street photographer. So I just went over there without any built-in notions of how things might be. But as I photographed and walked around the city, I just began to notice some very interesting similarities. And probably the first one is that there's so much construction going on over there, just as there is in Arlington. And I was quite surprised to see a number of city blocks completely torn down with the fencing around it, just like here, bulldozers working and cranes up everywhere. So I think that was probably the most, familiar thing that I saw. Almost 2 years ago, I was contacted by Cultural Affairs and asked if I would like to consider this project. And I said, well, sure. And they interviewed myself and 4 other photographers from Arlington. I was selected very happily, and one thing led to the other. There was some discussion about how the project would go and so forth, and I just finally got my tickets and went over there for 2 weeks to photograph. And actually, before I left Arlington, I met Cécile Bethléem. She came over here. She stayed in Roslyn, kind of near where my daughter lives. So we got together and off the project started.
En fait, je suis venue ici pendant un mois, au mois de mai de l'année dernière, et donc j'étais toute seule. Et j'ai marché, j'ai traversé tout Arlington de long en large avec une petite carte. Et j'ai photographié, j'ai attendu, je me levais très tôt le matin pour avoir personne, pas de voiture, pas de gens, parce que ça ne m'intéressait pas de photographier les gens. Ce qui m'intéressait, c'était l'architecture, les espaces vides, ce que ça induit. Et il y avait des choses qui étaient assez similaires, et c'est pour ça aussi que j'ai essayé de faire dans mes photos, justement j'ai essayé de montrer que entre deux villes occidentales, comme ça, on pouvait vraiment se sentir des fois chez l'un ou chez l'autre, en fait, que ce soit à Arlington ou à Reims. Bien entendu, ce sont deux villes différentes, puisque Arlington, les États-Unis, c'est un pays assez jeune, et Reims a une histoire très longue, mais il y a des espaces communs, il y a des espaces qui nous sont connus de chacun, en fait. Donc voilà, j'aimais bien ce côté. J'avais vraiment envie en tout cas, de montrer dans ces photos-là un je ne sais quoi que l'on ressent chaque fois quand on est quelque part, on connaît mais on ne connaît pas vraiment.
For more information about the Crossing Glances exhibit, visit the Ellipse website at arlingtonarts.org/ellipseartscenter.htm. About these stories or many other happenings around Arlington County, log on to our website at arlingtonva.us and be sure to stay tuned for the next episode of Newsmakers here on AVN, your source for county-wide news.